So, which base would you choose in case you are supposed to move out of Mumbai, other than Mumbai and Delhi?
So I have. Hello everyone, welcome back to India's number one pilot podcast. We are in episode number 48.
Yes, 48. So, super excited to complete more 2 episodes to reach 50.
Yes. So do you think we'll reach episode number 50 before we
Yes,
have a little guest?
yes. I'm trying hard. Let's do that in next few days before I actually get into labor and deliver a baby. So, yeah, we shall do that. And yes, in 9 months of pregnancy. So, because of that, now things can happen any point of time actually, as per doctor. But then, ideally, it is said that in second half of 9th month is better to deliver, where you can complete the entire term of the pregnancy and then
Mhm.
baby is ready to pop out. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, how are you doing? How is your flying and with respect to supernumerary, and from which base are you operating, and which base have you been allotted with?
So right now I am flying out of Mumbai. So for me, they
Great.
have allotted me Mumbai until I complete my airline training, and then they might change depending on the operational requirement. So happy with Mumbai now. Hope I continue to fly out of Mumbai once I'm done with my line training. And I've heard there is a lot of requirements to operate out of Mumbai.
Correct.
So far, I'm quite optimistic that I'll be based out of Mumbai for the rest of the year as well.
Okay. So that is for your training, but most likely you will need to move out for your further flying,
Uh,
line flying as you get released, right?
yes, so as per our airline, we have to go out for, I guess, minimum of 6 months, and then we have to request to get back to our home base.
Correct.
So depending on the requirements, they will allot me the home base, and let's see how it goes. We are far away from that point, so most likely in the month of May we'll get released, and then if they have requirements in Mumbai, I'll be flying out of Mumbai. If not, then I'll have to relocate to some other base,
Correct.
and then we'll see how can I move back to Mumbai.
Correct.
Yes. And what about you? How was your base allotment done?
So to tell you about the base, before joining,
Mhm.
we were given one email. Sorry. So about the base, before joining, there was an email from an airline,
Mhm.
and in that we had to choose our preferred base. We had to give 2 to 3 bases, which
Mhm.
are our choice of bases. And since I completed my type rating in Bangalore, I was kind of familiar with Bangalore, and I started liking that city. So, generally, it happens in most cases that students start liking that base where they are put up.
Mhm.
So, I was, so I gave the choice of base as Bangalore. And then I got that base right from the time of junior first officer,
Mhm.
where entire training also happened from there. So from the time I started the supernumerary as well as SLF, everything was planned out of Bangalore, and then started flying as a line first officer also out of that base. And then, as per the airline policy, they say that 6 months is minimum. Of course, it changes with time to time, and the airline requirement, and depending on the individual base requirement and number of flights operated out of
Mhm.
that base. But yes, that point of time there was a lot of requirement in Bangalore, and many aircrafts were based out of that city, like about 35 airplanes back then.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I continued to be there. And afterwards, generally students, generally first officers who are from Delhi. So Delhi has much more requirement compared to
Mm-hmm.
Bombay.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, those first officers who belong to Delhi, they were relocated quite early. In about 6 to 8 months, they were gone out of these bases. But why the airline has to do that? The reason being is many pilots are from Mumbai and Delhi. Majority of them, many, of course,
Mm-hmm.
the other cities as well. But if you look at the numbers, then Delhi and Mumbai has maximum pilots. So because of that, if everyone is given those bases, then who will fly out of other bases?
Correct.
And the compared to Delhi and Mumbai, the number of pilots from other cities is lesser.
Mm-hmm.
There is a significant number, but it is less. And those number of pilots are not sufficient to serve the flights which are operated out of those bases. That's why airline has to come up with these policies,
Mm-hmm.
wherein you as a junior first officer, generally those students and pilots are pretty excited to step out of home and then
Mm-hmm.
fly to different places. And then even I was at that point quite excited to move out, because you're always at home and then in that closed environment where you are under influence of parents. And now it's a time when you can get exposure to outer world, and you can explore different places and meet different people. So yes, I was pretty excited to move out of Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reason why when I went there, then continued to stay. But eventually those 6 months got extended to about 3 years.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
it was not like in 6 months I would be back. So 6 months is minimum time which they say, or some airlines
Mm-hmm.
might promise. Okay, again it depends on requirement of an airline. So after I continued to fly there as the first officer, thereafter senior first officer, then it was a time when I was going for command upgrade. And that is the time my turn came for a relocation.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, now might as well. If I move to Mumbai just for maybe next few months, because once you are a captain, you are again a new captain.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there is a rule of relocating to the base of airline's choice other than Mumbai and Delhi. And that is the reason why I continue to stay there in
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore. And that's the reason why, I stayed there for 2 years, which is as
Mhm.
per the
Company,
airline
yeah.
policy at that time. And then total period of about
Mm.
6 years I was there in Bangalore.
Wow.
So
So you
that
must
is
be quite familiar with all the places
yes,
in Bangalore.
yes, pretty much. So back then, some of the colleagues, when I was a captain, then some first officers even got Mumbai base in just 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like, yeah, they were lucky to get that, because when I was in that process of, for being a first officer and then waiting for relocation, but that time there was not enough requirement in Mumbai,
Mm-hmm.
because the COVID happened, as well as the Jet Airways had shut down in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And Jet Airways had the primary base of Mumbai.
Yes.
Those pilots were, absorbed in other airlines, and they also wanted Mumbai base. And that was the reason why requirement in Mumbai was already fulfilled by them.
Mm-hmm.
So we were left behind for relocation. And that was the reason why we were there for a longer time. And then it wasn't like out of compulsion, but yes, we did enjoy. And then at first available opportunity, I did move back to Mumbai. So yeah, That was
Yes.
in 2021. So
Mm-hmm.
started flying with Indigo. uh, Started flying in 2016 as a junior first officer. Before
Mm-hmm.
that, 1 year of training. That was also in Bangalore in 2015 for
Mm-hmm.
typewriting. And then, so 2015 to 2021, I was
Mm-hmm.
there in that city. It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. Weather is lovely. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I've been to Bangalore now a couple of times. The weather is really good. And at night, especially when you are in the outskirts of Bangalore, outside the city, it feels like you are on a hill station.
Correct,
The air is
correct.
so fresh, and you
Absolutely.
feel like, oh wow, I'll just
Yes.
sleep, just lie down and relax. That's it. But yes, so when we are speaking about airline base, if you guys are wondering what we are talking about, so once you are done with your CPL, once you are done with your type rating, and then when you apply for the airline jobs and you get selected as a junior first officer or a trainee pilot in an airline, initially they will ask you your preference for the base. So now generally for most airline, the metro cities are the base. So let's say if you come from Nagpur, so your preference would be to select Mumbai as your base because it's a metro city where most airlines will have their base. List the bases in terms of your preference. So they give you 2 to 3 preferences. So first you can add Mumbai if you want, then you can add Hyderabad or Bangalore, whichever you like. So you have to give that list to the airline, and then depending on the availability, the airline may give you anything from that list, or they might give anything other than that if it's not available. So we are just discussing about base because once you are into airline, you will have to select a base
Correct.
according to the
Absolutely.
availability.
Absolutely. And sometimes initially there is this kind of apprehension or hesitation to move to different city.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly speaking, like when you or your friends
Mm-hmm.
or in your batch or even my colleagues in the
Mm-hmm.
batch, so it is pretty convenient, and it is a way in which you really face outer world and you can get better exposure, and you
Mm-hmm.
know how to deal with people, how to be independent and stay on your own.
Yes,
And
there'll be day-to-day challenges which your parents might be handling right now, but when you move to another city, you have to handle those challenges by yourself.
yes, sir.
So you grow as a person, you become a
Absolutely.
responsible individual,
Absolutely.
and you learn a lot of new things when you go to a new place because
Absolutely.
everything is taken care by yourself.
Absolutely. And even rather you start liking that city.
Yes.
So it is not like you are forced to stay there. You do start liking that city, and then that's a good thing to stay in different cities, see their culture, and then learn some things from there.
Yes,
So
and as you have stayed out of Mumbai, like let's say you started with Bangalore, so what all things you took into consideration while selecting a base?
so I put Bangalore as the preferred choice of base because some of the colleagues were also opting for that. The
Mhm.
reason being, Bangalore is the second largest hub in India in terms of the airport infrastructure, in
Mhm.
terms of the number of airplanes parked there, and the flying hours would be much more out of Bangalore. Because of that, the career progression would also be faster there.
Hmm.
Apart from that, if you had to, apart from that, if I had to visit Mumbai, if there is an off day, then there were many flights from Bangalore to Mumbai, and that was also one of the additional plus point. Plus, even though you belong to Mumbai, you like South Indian food, right?
Yes.
Like idli, dosa, and that's pretty good. So that is something which we would cherish apart from the
Mhm.
rest of the positive points. So these are the factors because of which it made me opt for Bangalore. And since you have a more number of friends around, you are more comfortable in a new city.
And plus the rents which you have told me for 3 BHK at that point of
Yes,
time, it was very
absolutely.
cheap.
Absolutely, yeah. So, if you consider Mumbai and Bangalore, there is no comparison of rent. So,
Mhm.
definitely that was a additional point, and rent was cheap, and living was pretty comfortable. Weather was pretty good. I mean, it is pretty good. So, these were the factors which made me choose Bangalore. Yeah.
Yes, many of my friends from our batch are based out of Bangalore, and yeah, they are flying pretty good. They are happy with the base as well.
Right, right. So, which base would you choose in case you are supposed to move out of Mumbai, other than Mumbai and Delhi?
So I haven't spent much time in Bangalore. I've been there for a day or two, so I'm not sure how the life over there is. So if given a preference, take advice from my friend. I'll take advice from my friends who are staying in Bangalore right now, as per the situation. Like what all things are good, what all things are not so good, and I have stayed in Hyderabad for around 3 months, and that city was also pretty good. So the preferred option would be Hyderabad as of now,
Okay.
because I have stayed there
Right.
and have made couple of friends there as
Correct.
well, and then the food there is amazing,
Correct. Correct.
as you know. Uh,
Right.
so the biryani and there's one
Absolutely.
restaurant named Chutneys, which is really good.
Right.
So yeah, so and I have couple of friends there, so Hyderabad would be a good option.
Correct.
And then let's see if that's not available, either Bangalore or any other city will do, as long as you know. So right now they will ask you for your preference, but if that is available, then only you get it. Otherwise they can give you other options if Hyderabad or Bangalore is not available.
Correct. Correct.
So
Absolutely.
accordingly depends. Like I have friend and like almost every base, because when you become pilot
Yes.
you meet so many people whenever you fly.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, friends are there in every basis. Wherever you go, you just have to get along with that group, and
Correct.
then yeah, your life will
Absolutely.
become easy.
Yes. Joining us on podcast. We are shooting podcast.
How's it going?
We are shooting podcast.
Yeah, what's up, what's up?
Here is a third member who's called up.
I know, right? Yep, alright, you call me after podcast. Because, yeah, nothing urgent, but call me after podcast, okay?
Okay, fine.
Otherwise, if I'm on the mic right now, I miss you all too, and I will be back again on the podcast real soon, okay? Yeah, nice
Great.
to have you all here on the podcast. Thank you.
Alrighty. Yep.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Yes, that was Nilay, who is missing in the podcast since quite a few episodes now.
Yes, almost
Yes.
3 episodes now.
Yes, and he'll soon be done with his ground classes, and he'll back again to the podcast. But then we'll have one more member missing.
Then I will be missing.
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, that's how it's gonna be. So speaking about that, okay. So we discussed about the base, like what all bases you can get. If you don't get base of your preference, don't get disheartened. Just go
Absolutely.
ahead. You will be in love with the city. Okay. Now, when you are flying, okay, what is your schedule like? Do you get time for your family? This is the common myth that students ask, whether they get time for their family, whether they get time for vacations. And I've seen you going on trips to Europe for 2 weeks. So how do you make time? Like audience wants to know.
Okay. So, pilots are meant to fly to different places. Of course, that's the profession. But at the same time, when you are at work, then you have layover at minimum rest in most cases, or just more over that. Okay. But when you want to spend time with family, that is also important. going down the line when you're in 30s, in that case you would want to spend time with your spouse and family, and that's the time when you need to choose whether this particular contract is appropriate for you or you want to shift to another contract. So there are various contracts which are offered depending on an airline to captains in most cases. Generally first officers have standard contract because where in first officer would fly more and more and get upgraded to captain soon, so that once you become a captain then you have choice of contracts.
Okay.
So at that time, if in case initially you want to build more number of hours, then you need to fly like about 80, 90, 100 depending on the operational requirement, those
100
many hours okay,
100 hours
in a month. And then you have lesser number of leaves. So I have done that in my initial years of flying as a first officer, as a senior first officer, as a captain as well. And then now when after getting married I felt I want to take some time off and give time to family, and then go out on vacations, which I was putting on hold for a very long time. And that was the reason why I switched to another contract wherein there were more number of leaves and lesser number of flying hours comparatively. Like instead of flying 90 hours, now I fly like let's say 70 hours. Okay, sometimes maybe 80 hours. So the particular contract is such where in every month I get 1 week off. So in earlier contract, every alternate month I was getting 1 week off.
Okay.
So now every month 1 week off. So if you switch like last week of previous month and first week of next month, then you get 15 days off in a row, so that you can plan your vacation. So this is a way in which I try to take out time out of the flight schedule. And whenever there is flight schedule, that time either 1 or maybe maximum 2 days in a week you get off day completely. Otherwise, sometimes you go early morning, come back in the afternoon, and then have some time you would sleep, and then you get some time in the evening, things like that. So you do get time to family, but you have to plan it as per your requirement.
Yes,
Then-
and plan it a bit well in advance as well.
Yes, absolutely. Here, things need to be informed in advance to an airline so that they can plan the schedules and rosters and for next few months according to the requirement. Yeah.
So, how many types of leaves do you get as a captain?
So as a captain or even as a first officer, there is something called as PL or privilege leave, which you need to plan it in advance. Like for example, you want to plan a vacation, as we discussed, then you need to plan it in advance about 2 to 3 months prior, or sometimes even 6 months prior, and accordingly you would get those privilege leaves. And even for a first officer, you plan it according to the whenever the airline opens with their requirement of whenever the airline opens with the portal of bidding for your PL, that time you can plan for privilege leaves. That is such leave where you need not answer to anyone that what you are going to utilize those leaves for. Okay, you can either go on a vacation, or you can go to somebody's marriage, or do whatever you want, or even if you want to rest at home, you can do that, and just ensure that it does not breach the contract of the company. That's it.
Yes.
So that is how it is. So that is privilege leave. Then there is something called as casual leave. For example, once the roster is published, and then if in case there is a last minute some event which is planned, then in that case you will have to request for a casual leave. Like for example, in case of first officer, sometimes they have to appear for ATPL exam. Now
Hmm.
that date doesn't
Mm-hmm.
is not released like last previous month. It
Hmm.
is released very much in short notice. So in that case, you have to apply for casual leave.
Hmm.
So you have to give a reason. What is the reason for casual leave? Or if somebody's child's function is there, something like that.
Child's birthday.
It's so in that case, it's
Mhm.
casual leave. If in case there is sickness, where there is fever or whatever reason there is sickness,
Yes.
because of which you will not be able to perform the duties of the flight, then it is sick leave, which can be taken a day prior or
Mhm.
on the same day of your flight, but not to such an extent that last minute. If you are telling them 1 hour in advance, then it becomes difficult for
Mhm.
them to arrange for a replacement pilot
Hmm.
and then to travel
Hmm.
for that pilot, as well as do the last minute things. So it's better you inform as early as possible whenever you think you're not
Correct. Hmm.
well to operate the flight. So these are the leaves which are broadly classified in like privilege leaves, casual leaves, and sick leaves.
Yes. So if planned properly, we can make time for family or things we like to do or for a
Absolutely.
vacation. So
Absolutely,
there's
yes.
so yeah, because many aspiring pilots have that question. Oh, if I become a pilot, I won't be spending time with my family. I'll be away from home for like months, and so that's not true. If you plan the holidays properly, then you make time for anything we would like
Yes,
to do.
yes, absolutely. So, right now you are undergoing airline
Hmm.
training. So, how about leaves during training?
So the leave remains the same, PL, CL, and SL, which is sick leave. So you can use them whenever you want, but there's no fixed schedule during your training. Mostly you'll be on standby, and suddenly one day you'll see your roster will be full of training flights, and then you have to be on your toes and everything. So that is there, but then also you do make time for whatever you want. Like I like to play cricket, so every Friday, like we have a group of
Okay,
pilots who play cricket
okay,
in the month. Like every month Friday, we have a group of pilots who love to play cricket. So everyone makes time for that
correct,
match,
correct.
and then I like to go to gym, and then we do podcast and then guide aspiring pilots for their training. So right now we have lots of questions from people who have just completed their 12th, like where to start. Should I do cadet pilot program? Should I go for conventional? Should I do it from US, or where should I get my training done from?
Correct.
So all of those questions, and then we do podcast, which we love because indirectly or directly it will help all the aspiring pilots watching this right now. So today, as we discussed about the base, many of them would have that question in their mind. Once you
Correct.
are in the airline, so what? Would
Correct,
we
correct,
get
correct,
our
correct.
hometown as our base, or will we get any other thing? So we like to discuss that because it brings them closer to their dream of becoming an airline pilot, and what
Absolutely.
is it like to live the dream.
Absolutely.
Okay. So one thing I've learned is you can make time for what you want. You just have to plan it accordingly. And
Absolutely.
the planning will take a bit of time because when you're new to the airline, you have to focus on learning. At that point of time, I wouldn't recommend anyone to take vacations and everything until you get released, because that is a learning curve, and continuously efforts are required both on the learning part as well as the performing part. And once you get
Absolutely.
released, then you can take a break, relax, and then come back to flying again.
Correct, correct.
But yes, during the initial part of training, when you're doing your SEMs, when you're doing your SUPs, SLF, um, try to complete it in one go, because once you are done with your ground training, if the base is not allotted as per your hometown, then you have to set up your new home, and along with that the training will go on alongside.
Correct,
So that becomes kind of tedious when you have to do both things. Once your house is done, like once you are settled in your new base, then it becomes easier to manage your training.
Correct.
So that's how it is. And apart from that, um, you meet a lot of friends as well when you go for your ground training with the airline. So people who are from Mumbai, you might not have met them in Mumbai, but you meet them in the airline. So you might think that, oh, I'm the only pilot in my locality. But once
Right.
you visit the airline, you think, oh, like
There are.
in my area, within just 2 minutes, there are like 3 to 4 captains living nearby.
Correct.
So I was like, earlier I used to think, okay, I am the only one from my locality, there's no one else. And then within this, let's say if I do 3 to 4 kilometers radius or 5 kilometer radius, there'll be, I guess, 15 to 20 pilots, captains easily.
Right.
Because if you see like you, Nilay, and then in my building I am there, and one more pilot is there in my building itself.
Okay,
So 4
okay.
pilots in here only. And then
Right.
I met another captain while I was flying to Vadodara. So that captain also stays in Malad only.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you do flight, and then when I went to play
Correct.
cricket, okay, I get to know this all captains are living at nearby my place only.
Absolutely.
So if I have doubts, I can knock the door. Hello, captain.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So that's how it is.
Correct.
Yes. So this is about the training phase. So every phase is different. The training phase, the first officer phase, the senior first officer, captain, everything. Now, tell me something about maternity leave. Like, how many leaves do you get for that?
Yes, maternity leave is such where the moment a woman is pregnant, from that day, she is off rostered from the duties. When it is declared that she is pregnant and adequate reports are submitted to the airline, then the airline will off roster that pilot from flying. And since then, till the time a woman delivers, that is for next 8 months, because it takes 1 month for you to detect if a woman is pregnant or not, and thereafter 8 months. So from in this entire period, it's a unpaid leave. Okay. And you can take before your due date of delivery, about 6 weeks prior, and then after that 4.5 months. Okay. So this is a leave which is going to be paid leave. Total of 6 months leave in maternity is paid leave. Okay, which you can either take 6 weeks prior to delivery and then 4.5 months later, or complete 6 months after delivery. Okay, and that is going to be paid leave. And after that, you can resume the operations and flying. But in case if someone wants to extend the maternity leave because a baby is just 6 months old, in that case, if you want to extend it till 1 year or something, you can do that, provided those from 6 months to 12 months of baby's age, it's again going to be unpaid leave.
Okay.
So that's how the maternity leave goes. And in this case, it's a government law that 6 months of paid leave should be given to female employees of any airline, or I would say any organization. Yeah. So that's how the maternity leave goes. Because in those 6 months, it's very, very challenging for a woman to even step out of home for a longer period of time because of the commitment towards the baby. So what are the types of leaves that you get as an airline pilot?
So there are 3 main types of leaves. Privilege leave, which you can apply well in advance. It's like a planned leave. There is casual leave, which you can apply 24 to 48 hours prior. So in case of a sudden party or any immediate family member is coming to visit you, you can apply for casual leave. Then there is sick leave. If you are sick, if you think that you won't be able to operate the flight safely, then you can apply for sick leave. You can call it anytime if you are sick. And then there is something called as special leave, which can be used in case of an emergency event, like illness of an immediate family member, death of a family member. And apart from that, there's something called as maternity leave for female pilots, and 6 months is paid for that, and rest is unpaid, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So considering this hectic schedule, whether it is in line flying or now you're in training, so how do you take out time for your own fitness?
So there are basic rules for everyone, whatever works out for them. So for me, I try to engage myself in any form of sport, be it cricket, tennis, badminton, or swimming. And if I don't do that, I go for gym. I go for a workout in the gym, and that I just do a simple workouts, not into bodybuilding, just to keep my body fit. Okay, so that's how I maintain my physical health. And for my mental health, you always can read a good book, or you can practice meditation, which will help you. But most important thing here, I think, is sleep and rest, which you give to your body.
Correct.
So as we know that we are not into a fixed time profession, so
Correct.
our time or work time may fluctuate 24 by 7. Sometime you have early morning flight, sometime you have evening flight, sometime you also might have a red eye flight. So how to keep the body at so how to rest your body during those odd times, like let's say if you have a red eye flight, you have to make your body feel asleep during the day.
Correct.
Okay, so for that there are simple things which you can do. Okay, you can either wake up early, and then when you are planning to take rest somewhere in the afternoon, so make sure you have blackout curtains installed in your room. So when you use that curtain, the rooms will be pitch dark. Okay,
Correct.
your body will feel that it's night time. So the body will think that okay, now it's night time, it's time to sleep.
Correct.
So that's how you can make your body sleep and keep yourself hydrated.
Correct.
Have good meals, like everyone knows
Correct.
what to eat and what is good for their body. So like as long as you eat natural healthy meals, that would be good. And then avoid sugary stuff, that all, like everyone knows what to do, right? But then eventually some point you decide, okay, now it's that sweet or that gulab jamun is right in front of me, then, and it's hot as well, so why not just have one? Once you have one, then
Right.
you have 2 3, and then your body will feel like, oh, now you have to go to sleep. So that's okay, once in a while, that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. We are all humans, we would have something to look
Food
forward to.
cravings
Yeah,
and
food
sweet
cravings, sugar
cravings.
cravings, sweet cravings, name it, whatever you want. But that is the basic things for us to keep us healthy. And most importantly is staying hydrated and
Absolutely.
sleep. Okay, and then comes your diet. So diet is mostly like, yeah, eat whole foods, yeah, fruits and everything, and then make your body exercise, and then like work out or do any form of movement of your body for 30 to 45 minutes. So now when we speak about this, okay, if you are an aspiring pilot, if you are watching this, so we don't want to point anyone relating to their body shape or anything, but as a pilot it is very important to stay fit.
Absolutely.
So you can ask yourself question, okay, you know what is BMI? BMI is body mass index. So an ideal range, what do you consider an ideal range according to DGCA?
So according to DGCA, for females, the ideal BMI is between 19 to 24. For males, it is between 20 to 25. And BMI, some of you may not know what it is. So BMI is body mass index, which is the ratio of your weight in kgs upon height in meters square. So if your weight is like 65 and height in meters is 168 centimeter, that is 1.68 meters. So you take that in a denominator and square it. This number has to be between 19 to 24 for females and 20 to 25 for males.
Male. So did you
So-
just reveal your weight and height?
That was my previous. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, why this number is important is because if you stay within that BMI range for male and female, you won't have any major medical issues, and you won't have to repeat additional test when you go for your
Correct.
medicals. There won't be any remark on your medicals, and it is very important to keep it that way. Keep your medicals remarkless. I would say don't get any remarks. So if you're watching this podcast, ask yourself just one question: am I within that BMI range? So for females it's 19 to 24, for males it's 20 to 25. Now you know your weight, you know your height, calculate your BMI, and answer yourself whether you are within that BMI range. If you are within that BMI range, great. Do whatever you're doing to keep that BMI range there itself. If you think you are under BMI range, so you need to gain weight, you need to be in that BMI range. So what steps you should take is, like, you can improve your diet, add additional meals to increase your weight. You can start lifting to increase your muscle mass. That will eventually increase your weight.
Weightlifting.
Yes, weightlifting thing. Now, if you think that okay, you have calculated your BMI and your BMI is slightly above, so in that case, what you need to do, you need to cut down on sugary foods. Need to cut down on sweets. You need to bring that BMI down. So you can either exercise, you can do it by dieting, anything which works for you. And this is not any medical advice. This is just what we think that as you are planning to become a pilot, or if you are a pilot, then if you are within this BMI range, you can avoid additional trips to the DGCA doctors.
Absolutely.
Yes. And other than that, what all things you want to advise?
If you have spectacles, then don't worry about it.
Mhm.
As long as your vision is 6x6
Hmm.
and that is with corrected glasses.
Glasses.
And in that case, it's absolutely okay. As long as there is no other deficiency in eyes, like color deficiency or color blindness or, night vision deficiency or any problem related to that. Because a lot of pilots do have this, or a lot of aspiring pilots do have this kind of notion that whether will I be able to become a pilot with spectacles. So there is no problem with civil aviation, but with Air Force, or if they desire to become an Air Force pilot, in that case, yes, there is a hindrance. In Air Force, spectacles are not allowed.
Nowadays, people do go for LASIK eye surgery and stuff. So they can either do that or leave it as it is. I prefer
So-
living as it is because I don't want to.
So LASIK surgery,
Mhm.
if we talk about, then after doing that surgery,
Hmm.
there is a downtime of 6 months.
Okay.
That means if you want to clear your class 2 or class 1 medical
Mhm.
during that time, or if you want to consider flight training during
Mhm.
that time, you will not be able to do that.
Hmm.
So in India, you will not be able to do that, because in India, you need to have class 2 or class 1 medical with you in order to do your flight training or commercial flying. And if in case that student is doing it in abroad, it is okay, but then not in Indian license, category. So LASIK surgery has this limitation, and after doing this surgery, there is a requirement to undergo special class 1 medical
Mhm.
at the Air Force station in India, and thereafter getting the certificate of class 1 medical assessment, then only you are good to fly.
Mhm.
So after surgery, there is downtime. That means 6 months have to be passed. Okay.
Yes.
So this is one thing because of which I have not got it done yet.
Yes. Neither am I planning to do it. I'm like, it's doing good. There's no need of operations or anything. With my specs, I can have a good 6x6 vision.
Absolutely.
So it's working fine for me. So there's no need to get a downtime of 6 months.
Yeah. Especially when you are already actively flying in an
Mhm.
airline. Then airline will not be giving you off days because you want to do LASIK surgery. In case if someone has done it in the beginning of their training,
Mm.
before starting flight training or something, it is okay. But not when they've joined an airline.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, and whatever we have discussed today related to the medicals, the BMI, none of it is an advice, a medical advice, because we are not the medical examiners here. If you want
This
us,
is general advice.
this is
as a
general
pilot.
advice, yes. And if you want us to get any DGCA medical examiner on board for our podcast or any doctor on the podcast to discuss about aviation medicine, then feel free to comment down and we'll try our best to get a DGCA medical examiner on board.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching this podcast till here. I hope you have got some positive insight and information about the pilot training as well as, the airline basis and how the life of a pilot is. So we shall see you very soon again in the next episode, and we are planning a webinar real soon in next few days. And stay tuned if you would like to interact with us in coming days. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this podcast till here. And keep yourself healthy and take care of yourself. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.